All right, Wall fans, Common Sensors, social media world. Welcome to Thursday night, SHIT. So happy it's Thursday because it is Go Tell It to the Wall podcast night. That's right, we're going live with the entirety of episode 64 tonight. Episode 64. We're going to have some fun. I mentioned in the teaser that I'm trying to keep it as light as possible tonight. Everyone in our country is just being bombarded with bad news lately. And if you aren't being bombarded with bad news, you need to check yourself because there's probably something wrong with you if you think that's what's happening. Everything that's happening is okay. So we're going to have some fun tonight. Try to keep it a little light. Of course, we will probably have a couple rants. We've got some common sense segments that really going to make you go, So we'll get into that. But we got a lot of fun stuff. Got some funny social trends happening right now, as well as a little bit of sports news and some cool tech stuff going on. Got all kinds of good stuff tonight. Written in the green ink, we switched up pens this week. My previous blue pen died, so luckily I keep like a stash of them and just kind of pull a color, and we happen to be green now. So we'll see how long this lasts until I throw it across the room because somebody's not using common sense, which, yeah, probably happen. Probably not tonight, but it will probably happen very, 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 very soon. So stick around. We're going to have some fun. Episode 64, Go Tell It to the Wall podcast. If you don't know who I am, I don't know how you found this, but I'm the one and only Sean O'Rourke, and also your favorite podcast host. Let's get into it. No mute. All right, Wall fans, Common Sensors, podcast consumers, social media world. Welcome to episode 64 of Go Tell It to the Wall podcast. I am your host, the one and only Sean O'Rourke, and I've got some good stuff for you tonight, today, tomorrow, 5 weeks from now, whenever the hell it is you're listening to this. If it's 5 weeks from now, some of the stuff might be a little irrelevant. That means you should get on it, subscribe, make sure you're subscribed, and you're going to get cool little notifications every time a new episode comes out, which is basically every Friday. Every Friday, new episode coming out. So make sure you're doing those things. All right, let's get into it. Social plugs. Shameless social plugs. You can keep up with Go Tell It to the Wall throughout the week, in between episodes, during our downtime, all kinds of other things, and you can do so firstly on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at TellTheWallPod. You can also follow my personal Twitter account at Magic Muppet. That's right, at Magic Muppet. Just follow both of them. I'm tired of saying, hey, there's more stuff on this. There's more. No, just follow both of them. You know you're following a Kardashian or some other idiot on Twitter. Everyone follows Orange Menace, even people that don't like him. So give us a follow. Give us a follow on the Twitter. That's going to keep you up to date on all the things that we're working on, all the new episodes when they come out, all that good stuff. We are, of course, still on Facebook for now. So go to Facebook, facebook.com/GoTellItToTheWall. I've been kind of dusting that page off a little bit, throwing some things up there, especially because we had some great interstitial videos that were getting posted. So I've been utilizing that a little bit here and there. So check us out there, like our page, do the things, whatever it is you do. And of course, our YouTube channel. Head on over to YouTube, search Go Tell It to the Wall, and subscribe. Subscribe. We put up some awesome videos from our Star Spangled episode. I have individual videos that you can actually watch on there if you didn't feel like listening to the entirety of the Star Spangled episode, which I don't blame you. It was a little bit off the rails. We had some fun, but it was all over the place. So check us out, YouTube. Just search Go Tell It to the Wall. Subscribe. And of course, all encompassing of those things that I just mentioned would be SeanO'RourkeLive.com. That's going to take you to all those things I just mentioned, as well as give you access to some other stuff that isn't on social platforms, including our Patreon page. Head on over to that if you want to help financially support the podcast, support the YouTube channel, and all the things that are Go Tell It to the Wall, Go Tell It to the Brewery, all that good stuff. So make sure you hit that up too, SeanO'RourkeLive.com. Check that out. I don't want to say constantly. Check it out regularly for when we post updates. There's photos up there. There's actually working on the blog. That's going to be up there very, very, very soon. It's just a matter of me hitting publish and making sure that everything is kind of in order because it gets all over the place when you're doing so many things at once. And half the time I have a toddler climbing on me while I'm doing these things. All right. One other mention. Indiegogo. Indiegogo is still happening right now. I'm probably going to mention it 4 or 5 times throughout this episode, simply because we have 3 days left. 3 days left on the Indiegogo campaign, and we are ever so close to our goal. The other thing I haven't been telling people, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. We're a little bit from our goal, but here's the thing. I have word that we've got another donor kind of sitting in the wings waiting until we at least hit 1 minimum point. So essentially, we need a little more than this overall, but if we can get another $50 on the Indiegogo, that is going to ensure that we hit our goal. This is just, I'm not going to get into details, but I know we're not only $50 away from the goal, but if we get that last $50, we are definitely going to hit our goal, and if we surpass that, then that's fantastic. We have some great things coming for you guys. We've been working on some new formats, pricing out some new gear for the studio, so we're going to really improve the overall quality of the podcast itself, of the YouTube channel especially, and many other things. So please share the Indiegogo. If Bridget jumps on the live feed here, we'll have her share the link for it. But just you can find it everywhere. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. Share it. Give us $1. Give us $2. Give us $50. Whatever it is, every little bit helps, and even sharing helps us as well, because getting the word out there. And we just have 3 days. Three days left. Really want to hit that goal. And like I said, we just another $50 minimum. If we do more, that's fantastic. But if we can just do another $50, we'll be sitting golden. We will be just in great position to bring all of you Common Sensors Wall fans and podcast consumers a higher quality podcast as well as higher quality videos, which is something I've really been pushing for, simply because the YouTube channel needs some work, and that's where we're going to get to. And a lot of things, more things are going to go up on the website at that point too, simply because I want to utilize that more. On that note, I think we're also going to be moving to YouTube Live instead of the Facebook Live. I know I keep saying this. I'm just so incredibly tired of Facebook Live, low res stuff, and just it's crazy, and I'm just tired of it. So we're going to be moving to YouTube Live here shortly, especially once we get some of our gear upgraded here, and we can do gear upgraded here. Yeah. So just rhyming all over the place. And then we're going to move things to YouTube Live. It's going to be a better format for everybody. Everyone's got to learn how to utilize YouTube more instead of Facebook, because Jesus Christ, Facebook. Oh my God. I think Facebook's going to be completely dead in the next 2 years. Guarantee it. Completely dead. All right, I want to take a moment. I was hoping that Bridget would be able to join before I did this, kind of twofold. But I want to make a special shout out. Firstly, I want to make a special shout out to my wife. Actually, today is July 19th, 2018. Yesterday, July 18th, was my anniversary. Celebrated 3 years of wedded bliss with my wife this week. And I want to take a moment to shout out to my wife, who is incredibly supportive, really, in everything in life that I do and we do, and for our family. She's one of the most supportive people I've ever met in my life. But not only that, and also the podcast and growing this, and the patience that she exudes while we do that. So honestly, any of you out there listening, you not only, I don't even want to say you owe me anything, because I get something out of this myself, yelling at a wall once a week, but if you enjoy this podcast, if you listen on a regular basis, if you enjoy the videos, you owe at least a little bit of thank you to my wife, who allows this to happen, who puts up with my craziness, who has the patience to let all of this just happen. Like, honey, I'm putting a studio in that. Okay, all right, I guess, and so happy anniversary to my wife. Thank you for your patience. And I know all of our wall fans and Common Sensors out there appreciate it as well. And it's been 3 years, and looking forward to many more. I think a lot of people that are happily married can tell you it's like twofold, because you feel like you've been together forever in a good way, but then when anniversary, you're like, man, it's already been 3 years. Okay, it seems like it's been about a year. It goes by so fast. I'm sure that's compounded by the fact that I have a toddler running around the house. who's going to be 2 in November, and really that time goes just exponentially fast as well. But the reason I mentioned I was hoping Bridget would be on the live feed by now, or Chris. I don't think Chris will be joining the live feed this week. I think he is down standing in line somewhere down in San Diego. Probably standing in line at Comic-Con, waiting for something, trying to get into some panel or whatever it might be. So I don't think we're going to get him this week, and we'll see if we do get Bridget. It's really everything depends on the kids and schedule and everything else. So we'll see if we get her. But I want to also wish a very, very, very happy anniversary to Chris and Bridget Hassong. That's right, we actually share an anniversary. We got married on the same date, not the same day. Chris and Bridget have been married a little bit longer than my wife and I, but very, very, very happy anniversary to Chris and Bridget Hassong. Bridget is our on-air producer, and Chris is our stats and information person. Really, he's also a producer, but I kind of lean on him for stats and information. So happy anniversary to both of you, and if you know them personally, or if you see them, or you run into them, or whatever it is, wish them a happy anniversary as well. Even, I know it's past, but just a belated happy anniversary, because without my wife, without Chris and Bridget, I don't know where this podcast would be. I don't know how we'd put it together every week, because they help to keep it running and to keep me sane, really. I don't even want to say for lack of a better word. They help to keep me sane. Otherwise, I would be completely insane. More insane than I already am. All right. Man. Beer this week. Ooh. We have actually one of my favorites this week. It's not a Stone. It's not one from Stone Brewing. I know everyone's like, another Stone. Nope, not a Stone Brewing one. This week, I have a tasty little brew from Oskar Blues Brewing. They're out of Colorado. Oskar Blues Brewing, and this is the Dale's Pale Ale. Dale's Pale Ale. Most of you probably, this one's pretty wide distribution. I've seen it around quite a bit. And in fact, the interesting thing about Oskar Blues is they are one of the first craft breweries that I don't want to officially say someone's going to quote me on it, they're going to send me, no, it was this brewery that's in Sheboygan. Okay, I don't know. This is one of the first widespread craft breweries that was really just, they put all of their beers in cans, which I love. Nothing against bottles. Cans are easier to hold. I always joke about, let's just start putting everything in the pint cans, 16-ounce cans. That'd be fantastic. But I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. If you're not into pale ales, like the Dale's Pale Ale, they have plenty of other awesome brews that you can try out as well, Oskar Blues. And I do love their slogan that comes on every can, and that's pack it in, pack it out. Pack it in, pack it out. Which I want to say is like a Boy Scout term as well. But all the burners out there, myself included, know that this is really one of the most important things that you can do. Just not only at the burn, but just in life in general. Pack it in, pack it out. That's how it works. So Oskar Blues, thank you for putting together a nice little pale ale with the Dale's Pale Ale. It's tasty. I like it. And not super hoppy. It's sitting at like 6.5%, but it's not as hoppy as your IPAs. It's a pale ale. It's going to be closer to like a Sierra Nevada, but definitely has that craft brew feel to it. One more thing, like I mentioned, we got new content coming, new format, all kinds of new stuff coming once the Indiegogo ends, which we are 3 days away from, and once I can get everything kind of updated in the studio and move things along and work on more of our new formats and get that content out to you. So look forward to that, all of you out there, wall fans, common sensors, anyone really that finds this podcast, finds anything having to do with Go Tell It to the Wall. New stuff coming, or SeanO'RourkeLive.com. Like I said, just new stuff coming all across the board once Indiegogo ends. And now that I have a little more time to finish up everything, yeah, it's gonna be a fun few months here. Wall fans, common sensors, we're gonna have some fun. We are. All right, let's get into some social media trends. Social media trends. That's right. I tried to keep this one light this week. I really did, and I think I did to an extent, but I do need to, of course, call out a couple of common sense situations that are happening across the social media world right now. First one that I'm talking about would be the hashtag that's trending right now. I don't know how much it's trending, and it's also possibly trending because of people making fun of the other people that are posting this hashtag, and that would be hashtag Papa John did nothing wrong. That's right. Hashtag Papa John did nothing wrong. I do absolutely love the headline from Complex.com, which would be, and I quote, "People defend the right to be racist using hashtag Papa John did nothing wrong." That's right. You're basically defending being a racist. That That bigoted son of a bitch. He's just been on a roll for the past like year or two, and I mean, I thought he stepped over the line over a year ago, but really stepped over the line in the past couple weeks when he used an extremely offensive term on a conference call. And I don't care who you are, or what you're thinking. There's just no excuse for using that term ever. Especially as a white man. I don't think anyone should use that term. However, I will not call out an African American using that specific term. I just won't. I don't agree. You want to do it, that's fine. I walk around calling myself a Mick or a Pole. It's fine. I think that's. I'm not trying to compare the two or three terms. I'm just saying I'm not going to call them out on it. However, like a white man from the South who's already done many things that you can't get behind. You cannot use that term. But apparently people think he did nothing wrong. One of my favorite. I encourage you to look this one up, not because you want to, and if you want to look it up because you support the hashtag Papa John did nothing wrong, by all means do it. I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, but by all means do it. But if you just want some entertainment, really just look at the replies to people that have been posting Papa John did nothing wrong. It's kind of ridiculous. It really is just ridiculous because we all know the man is a scum. He's a scum of a human being, and we don't need any of that in a public way. And it's actually crazy because the last time, because we talked about his conference call and him getting in trouble and everything else, but recently he came out, since the last time we talked about it, came out and said he regrets stepping down as chairman of the board. He'd already stepped down as CEO of Papa John's like a year and a half ago. He stepped down as chairman of the board, and it's like, dude, you just need to fade off into the sunset. Just we're done here. Go be racist, in your own home, probably somewhere in the South. Here comes the hate mail from all the Southerners, the two of them that listen to this podcast. Just stay down. Just stay there. Be done with it. Call it a day. We don't want to hear from you. All right, I have a fun hashtag, but not fun hashtag. Funny, I guess. So, if you've heard of this thing, the hashtag in my feeling challenge, which I believe is based on a Drake song. I'm not a Drake fan. I don't care. I don't care what this. Here's the thing, Wall fans, comments. I really don't give a shit what this is based on. I don't. It's dancing. Do your thing. If you enjoy it, that's fine. No problem with it. But I'm not gonna get into researching what exactly this is. However, this came to my attention not only because it's all over social media, and this is like the oh my gosh, the flash mobs and whatever that's like statue. I don't know, all these silly challenges. But this originated as a challenge where people were dancing to a specific song, dancing a certain dance. It's like, okay, fine, in my feeling, that's fine. I'm not interested in this. Well, what happened was some people out there decided this wasn't dangerous or funny enough. So they took the challenge, and instead of just dancing in front of a camera, many people out there have decided they're going to jump out of their moving car and dance next to their moving car. Here's the thing, Wall fans, common sense says that you shouldn't jump out of a moving car ever. Let alone to jump out, dance, and have someone record you. As you can guess, that's right, this is not working out well for people. In fact, I wasn't interested in searching for this in my feeling challenge until I realized that people were basically just going crazy with this car stuff. So if you want to be entertained, search that hashtag in my feeling challenge, and you will see. I saw one today that like this young woman gets out of her car. The car's moving. She jumps out of her car, and like the car just drives off without her. And her friend is in the passenger seat. I assume her friend, who was going to be recording her, is in the passenger seat. And she lean over trying to hit the brake pedal. This is the world we live in. Wall fans. Young people don't know it's not smart to eat Tide Pods. Young people don't know it's not smart to jump out of a moving car. This makes me weep for humanity. I would say this is one of the worst things out there as far as humanity is concerned. But we all know the Orange Menace is in office, and sometimes I catch some social media posts supporting him. So really, as dumb as jumping out of a moving car is, still not as dumb as supporting the Orange Menace. I'm going to say it right now. Still not. I'd rather jump out of a moving car than support the Orange Menace. I would. I'll put it out there right now. Anyone quote me on it. Quote me on it. I don't care. Here comes the hate, man. I don't get, that's the thing. I don't get good emails. Like, I get emails through the site because I throw out SeanO'RourkeLive.com. I get emails through the site. Never are those emails good. Like, I get good comments and stuff and shares, and people are like, hey, never do I get good emails through the site. They're always like, you're un-American, you know, all this other, whatever, dude. Whatever. Go back to trolling whoever it is you troll, or kissing the Orange Menace. I don't care. Whatever it is, go back to that. Leave me the hell alone. All right, let's move along here. Another hashtag trending on the social platforms right now is hashtag what I thought when I was 18. What I thought when I was 18. Now, I found this one, of course. I actually almost wish this was what I thought when I was like 15, 16. There is a drastic difference for anyone from like 18 to hitting like 30. And it changes like by the year. But really, I was almost like 16 is when you can get really, really, really ridiculous. But I want to go through a couple of these because I just found it just entertaining. Let's see. So one of these that I found, hashtag what I thought when I was 18, that I'd have a 6-figure salary by the time I'm 22. That's right. I personally didn't think that. Well, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. But that's just one of those things. You get to be 22 and you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm making $20,000 a year. It's nowhere near 6 figures. And another one, this one is funny and sad. Hashtag what I thought when I was 18, being an adult would be fun. I think we can all relate to that when you think back to your youth. I thought being an adult would be lots of fun. And there's things about it, and like, I'm not trying to sit here and say being an adult sucks. There's things about it that are very, very, very fun. In fact, I was sitting with my daughter last night. I was putting her to bed, and I was sitting there reading her a book, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, this, if I could freeze myself in any time in my life, it would be this. With my daughter as a toddler, my wife and I in a very, very happy marriage. This would be where I'd freeze it. So it's not to say being an adult sucks. It's just when you're like 16, 18, you're like, yes, I can't wait to be an adult. And no, dude, wait. If you're a teenager listening to this podcast, take your time, enjoy. You'll get there. It's gonna come. There's no stopping it. You're gonna become an adult, but just take your time and enjoy it. You know, sit back, relax, still be motivated. But just enjoy it. Be in the moment. Be in the moment. Put your effing phone down maybe for 5 minutes and just be in the moment. Enjoy nature. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Whatever it might be. And just be. Just be. You know? Even as adults. Put your phone down. Just be. Just be for a little while. Alright. Oh my gosh. See, this is one. That's an extremely disgusting one. But not this entire hashtag, but I was trying to scroll when I was looking through this earlier because I was like, I'm not talking about that particular tweet that came out. But this would be hashtag I save money by. I save money by. The one I found most amusing on this was hashtag I save money by being single, and this particular tweet had, and this is from the tweet, narrator, not that he wants to be single. That one made me laugh out loud a little bit. I don't think everyone's going to find that quite as entertaining as I do. But yeah, that's when you're young, like especially in your 20s, that is one way to save money. Just be single, like don't date at all. You know, but then you're not gonna meet anyone. You're not gonna get laid. So I don't know. There's a bit of a trade-off there. Another one that I found amusing. Hashtag I save money by paying my Visa with my MasterCard. That is amusing. However, I hate to break it to you, David E., you're actually spending more money by doing that. I guess if you just keep paying one off with the other and then the other off with one, and then die, then you just leave it to your kids. You know, but you're not saving. Hate to break it to you, David E., you're not saving money, you're actually spending more money by doing that. It's going to cost you a little more in interest and whatnot. All right. Another hashtag, I don't want to get into this ridiculousness, but I encourage you to check it out. Hashtag Trump knew. Trump knew. Essentially talking about the Orange Menace and the information that he did or did not know, most likely did know regarding many things, but most recently the Russia influence and their meddling, that's such a terrible, their attack. I'm going to use their attack on American democracy. I'm not calling it meddling anymore. I'm sick of the media. Meddling. It sounds like something from Rocky and Bullwinkle, like the bad guy, Natasha and whatever, you know, moose and squirrel. Like, Yeah, no, that sounds like they were meddling in things. No, this was an attack on American democracy, United States democracy, and it's sickening. And that's why hashtag Trump knew is trending, because we all know the son of a bitch knew something, that orange menace, and hopefully eventually we can get our country back and get to the bottom of this bullshit, because I'm so sick of it. I'm just so sick of it. And I said I'd keep it light for this episode, so we're gonna move along here. One more thing I found. This wasn't a trending hashtag, but there is a little Twitter what do they call them? Twitter account that's actually at Venmo Drugs. At Venmo Drugs. Now this is a joke account. If you're not familiar with Venmo, Venmo is very similar to PayPal. Actually, PayPal owns Venmo, and it's just a convenient way to send funds between friends, send it to businesses, whatever it might be. I actually get paid through some of the companies I work with hosting live events. I get paid through Venmo, interestingly enough. Just it's easier than sending a physical check, or doing direct deposit. They're just like, here, it's coming in through the Venmo, you know. So it's convenient for that. But this at Venmo Drugs, what they're doing, and again, joke. With Venmo, they've tried to make it a social platform, and you can publicly pay people and say what it's for. Like, oh, here's $20 for pizza last night, you know. And so this at Venmo Drugs looks for Venmo posts and finds anything that could be misconstrued, or maybe actually is sending someone money for drugs. In fact, there are some on here where it says, like this one, for example, Jamie paid Muriel for drugs. Drugs in quotation marks. So, if you want some comedic enjoyment, this is probably the way to go, keeping in mind that it's all for comedy. I don't know how many of these people are actually publicly posting that they're paying someone for drugs. You know, who knows? A lot of people, I mean, I've paid people for alcohol and parties. Like, and I've done that. It's not a huge deal. And also keep in mind, with Venmo, if you use Venmo, you can actually set it to private. I have mine pretty much permanently set to private, and so nobody sees when I'm sending money to people, because really I don't need another social platform, Venmo. I don't. Like, come on, calm down. We got enough social platforms. The entire world lost their mind like a week ago because Instagram was down, and it was like the end of the freaking world. No, we don't need another social platform. I enjoy the convenience of sending people money, but calm down with the social stuff. Change your thing to private. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I know you're making jokes, and nobody cares. They don't. Keep it on Facebook or Twitter. In fact, just keep it on Twitter, because we're done with that damn Facebook stuff. All right, let's move on to some TV, film, and books. TV, film, and books. Got some good stuff this week, actually. A little news that just came out. This actually just broke from Comic-Con. This happened just today, July 19th, 2018. And that would be the great minds behind the show The Toys That Made Us. The Toys That Made Us. I'm getting so out of order here. They actually announced they're going to do a season 3. If you're not familiar with The Toys That Made Us, it's a documentary series on Netflix. It was originally intended as an 8-part documentary series. They essentially did 2 seasons, 4 episodes each, and episodes being a relative term because they are very long episodes. That each episode centers around a specific toy. The first 8 were really all toys that started like late 70s, 80s, and possibly moved on. Some of them, just trying to remember off the top of my head. He-Man was one of them. Legos, of course. Of course, I'm remembering the toys that I actually played with when I was a kid. Legos was another one of them. Barbie, they did Barbie. And there's a few others in there, all of them very interesting. And it's a fantastic documentary series. It's funny, and it's also very informative, and it's also very nostalgic if you played with any of these toys. Hey, Chris, I was wondering if we'd get you. I gave you a damn anniversary shout-out at the top of the show. Are you still down there at Comic-Con, working your way through all the people doing cosplay, trying to get into some panels and stuff? I don't know, he's gonna, we'll get a little reply from him here. But anyway, The Toys That Made Us, they announced they're doing a season 3. They are doing a season 3 of The Toys That Made Us, and I can tell you because they have announced the specific toys they will be doing. Chris, I thought you were at Comic-Con. Maybe Chris is not standing in a line for one of the panels. I'm with you. I avoid Comic-Con like the plague. Like the plague. Oh, Phoebe's sick. That's no good. Phoebe, who was actually on our Star Spangled episode, or Star Spangled episode, is sick, unfortunately. For some reason, your picture's not showing up, Chris. Fix your Facebook. What are you, an 85-year-old man? Your picture's not. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, Toys That Made Us Season 3. The 4 episodes they're gonna do. The 4 episodes they're gonna do are Power Rangers, wrestling, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and My Little Pony. Now, wrestling, I think these are like the wrestling figures that were very, very popular in the 80s, and I think really extended into the 90s. I never go to I avoid Comic-Con like the plague, Chris, I'm with you. I think it extended into the 90s, and maybe they are still around, the wrestling toys. Now, I am obviously most excited about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was like the end of my toy playing. Like, I can tell you right now, my progression was He-Man and Thundercats, and then peppered in with a little bit of Star Wars, and then I moved on to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then I just got a little too old for got a little too old for toys. As I'm looking at my like Deadpool bobblehead, Funko Pop bobblehead, yeah, I mean I guess I got like at the time too old for toys. So, Power Rangers is that's past my time. My Little Pony was right in my time frame, but I didn't. It's like G.I. Joe was one of the ones from the original 8-part documentary series that they did, and G.I. Joe. Well, all around me, I was never a G.I. Joe kid. It's really depends what you're into. Highly recommend Toys That Made Us Season 3 coming out on Netflix. You know you have Netflix. Everybody's got freaking Netflix. You need it because they do have a lot of good shows. And it's great. It's great that we're talking Comic-Con because I did want to mention the Comic-Con's happening this weekend, and I avoid Comic-Con on purpose. I was actually there years and years and years ago as a kid when it was actually just comic book convention before it morphed into this this social pop culture convention that it is now. Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I don't care. I don't need to deal with those crowds. I don't. I'll deal with ridiculous crowds. One place, and that's at the Burn. And that's getting into the Burn, and that's leaving the Burn. And at the Burn, I don't deal with the crowds. I just got to deal with them on Gate Road. So Comic-Con, not for me personally. If it is for you, I hope you're enjoying your time there. I have tons of friends that are down there. I have tons of friends being paid to be there now, and I have tons of friends that are just down there because they enjoy going to Comic-Con. So have fun if that's what you're doing. The one thing I will say about it is keep an eye out for announcements like this. Like what I was just talking about, Toys That Made Us Season 3 was announced at Comic-Con. They did a panel with the guys that created Toys That Made Us, announced Season 3 coming out, and the specific toys that they would have for each of those episodes. So it is good for that. It's just, you don't have to deal with the crowds. You can just check Twitter on a daily basis for the next 3-4 days, and you'll see what's coming out of Comic-Con, because everyone's going to be talking about it. All right. Moving along, Netflix. I want to talk a little bit more about Netflix. This just came up recently, like this week. Netflix has really been pushing their original programming. They pick up a lot of stuff, original program, and there's some great stuff out there. Glow this season, Toys That Made Us fantastic. Glow this season, I'm only a few episodes in, despite the fact that you can binge watch it. Fantastic. Mark Maron is on another level in Glow season 2. If an actor can make me hate them and love them at the same time and just be raucously entertained while all of that's happening, that's a performance. As far as I'm concerned, that's a performance, and that's what's happening. So there are some great shows on Netflix, and a lot of great original programming. However, I'm noticing that there's a lot of stuff that's not so great. In fact, I think I talked recently, maybe in the past month or so, about comedy specials that they've been putting out there, and some of them not as good as, even with fantastic comedians, not as good as you would expect from those comedians. And I think I said at that time, it's because they're really just trying to churn out content. They're trying to own that. And we can partly blame this on Disney, because Disney has announced their own streaming service where they're going to keep all of the... So now everyone's rushing to beef up their streaming service, and Netflix is one of those. Well, the thing is, quantity over quality is usually not a good thing. It's not a good thing. And I'm noticing that more and more with Netflix. In fact, my wife tried to put on a cooking show the other day. She got 3 minutes in. I was like half watching it. She's like, no, I can't watch this. Then she's looking for something else. And she goes, oh, there's this show where they cook with marijuana. It's a cooking show, but everything's cooked with marijuana. And she's like, you're going to enjoy this. Myself being a big proponent of medical marijuana and even recreational use of marijuana. Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, now I got to go off. I got to get tangented here for a second. Speaking of that, today, I'm working on the show, and I actually stepped outside. I think I went to grab the mail or something. I walk outside my front door, and I look up, This guy walking by me. I live in Highland Park, California. Those of you familiar with it, it's hipster. It's like the hipster capital of LA right now. Don't quote me on that, but we got a lot of hipsters around here. It's very hipster centric around here. So I look up and this guy walking by my house, big headphones on. I think he was holding a phone in one hand. In the other hand, he's smoking a joint. Which, this isn't weird. Recreational marijuana is legal in California. Everything about that was totally legal. Nothing weird about it. But what caught my eye and surprised me was I realized the way he was smoking his joint. He was holding his joint with full-length chopsticks. Now, I don't know if there's such thing as mini chopsticks, but I only say full-length because I'm trying to give an idea. Like, what are chopsticks? You know, maybe 12 inch, 10 inches long? Full-length chopsticks, holding the joint, smoking it, bringing it up to his mouth. I had so many questions for that gentleman. However, I was in the middle of show prep and also having a toddler climb all over me, so I didn't get a moment to say, hey, why the hell are you walking around with chopsticks smoking that joint? Now, don't get me wrong, if that's your prerogative, by all means, do it. But I just had so many questions. So many questions. And I also realized that there is some crazy hipster achievement that he unlocked today. So good for you, sir. Hope you get your next hipster merit badge or however they do that. But good Lord, walking with chopsticks. Not even sitting at home with chopsticks. Walking around. I don't get it. Anyway, so this weed cooking show on Netflix. My wife's like, oh, we should watch this. I got 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes in. Not even 2 minutes. And I was like, nope. And that's one that always drives me nuts. And I have a shorter attention span when it comes to those kind of shows, simply because I'm very critical of any kind of host. I've been doing it for years, live events, everything else. So I'm very critical. I'm not saying I'm the best out there. However, this host on that particular show on Netflix, I'm not even going to I can't even remember the name of the show. It was a terrible show. It was horrible. And then they're just bringing these random... Zero entertainment value on that. Zero. I'm not even joking. Zero. I watched 2 minutes of it. I walked out. I was like, "You go ahead, honey. Watch this." I went outside. Like I'm going to do something else. I'm over it. I'm not watching this. So Netflix, I'm hoping you do a little better. Hope you do have these other shows that are canceling out the ridiculousness of those shows. But I mean, seriously, like, can we do a little better? We don't need quantity over quality in this particular situation. We just don't. We don't. Man. All right, moving along. Who is America? I mentioned this one. Who is America is officially on Showtime. It premiered this past Sunday. If you're a Sacha Baron Cohen fan, if you are an Orange Menace hater, if you're a hater of the ridiculousness that is the NRA and really all the things that go hand in hand with. Speaking of the NRA, I got so much shit a couple weeks ago for saying the NRA was a terrorist group. Not one to say I told you so, but holy shit, Wall fans, common senses. Holy shit. Thank you, Chris. Cooking on High. Actually, I didn't want to give it. Cooking on High. It's a terrible show. Don't watch it. Don't watch it unless you want to see how terrible of a show Netflix is putting out. Like, it's not even if you're like super like Tommy Chong stoner and you're just like or like Seth Rogen, Seth Rogen, like you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going. It's that bad. It's not even like I'm so stoned I can't move off this couch and so I'm going to watch. No, it's that bad. Anyway, Who is America? Check them out. It's on Showtime. I haven't gotten around to watching the actual episodes yet. I've just been seeing some interstitials and clips and everything else, and a bunch of idiots that are complaining that they got had because they're idiots. Speaking of idiots, we've got some more news on idiots coming later in the show. Some great news on idiots. So get you some Showtime. Check out Who is America. And, because common sense says that when these people are getting made fun of in the way that they are, we all got to enjoy it. We all got to see it. And especially with the way the country's heading right now. We need something to laugh at. Especially when it's calling out people for not using common sense. All right. Oh, Comic-Con. Speaking of Comic-Con, got a little more Comic-Con news. And I'm only bringing this up because, Deadpool. My favorite of the Marvel movies, my favorite. I don't even want to say my favorite comic book character. Chris and I got to talk about this because I'm not a comic book reader. I used to read X-Men when I was younger. I was into X-Men, but I've never read the Deadpool comics. I was aware of who Deadpool was because he's technically an X-Man, however you say it, an X-person. is that we're going to move toward that. X-People. He's one of those, so I was aware of him. But I don't actually read the comics, and I'm constantly wondering, like, well, I enjoy I don't know, but I do love the movies. I love Deadpool. I got a little Deadpool. There's two figures sitting on my, on my studio desk here, and one of them is Deadpool, and the other one is Elliot Alderson, because, greatest show on television, Mr. Robot. But they have a fun little viral, I don't even want to call it viral, they have a fun little campaign going on right now down at Comic-Con. And if you are at Comic-Con and you go into certain bathrooms around the convention center, you will find some marketing on your toilet seat cover. And it would be marketing from Deadpool. You see, the Deadpool 2 Blu-ray, DVD, and digital are dropping in August. I can't remember the exact date. I believe it's August 21st. I talked about it on the last episode of Go Tell It to Wall, actually, simply because that funny children's book's coming out. But they have these toilet seat covers with Deadpool's face on it, and it says at the top, "This is all Fox could afford," and Deadpool 2 dropping soon on Blu-ray and digital. That's right. That's right. Now, clearly, they could afford a little more marketing because Deadpool was killing it in the theaters and it's going to kill it in the home window. For those of you not familiar, that's when it actually, like, the home entertainment window is when you can actually get into your home, as opposed to in the theatrical window when you can only see it in the theater. I know, working in film and television, like, these terms just stick on, like, I don't use those terms anymore, but they're still ingrained there. So good job to the people at Deadpool, the marketing team over at Deadpool. Fantastic, and I just love, because it just really fits in with how it is. Yeah, August 21st. Thank you, Chris. Is when the Blu-ray DVD drops, and digital might come like a week earlier. They're doing that lately. The studio's dropping the digital version like a week early, but you do need to get the physical one. Oh, get the physical one, because you need that children's book. We got some news just today, actually. If you're in the market for a new house, especially in the Southern California area, and especially in the Studio City area, there's a new house that just went on the market. This house was actually used for exterior shots for the original Brady Bunch. That's right, the original Brady Bunch. They shot the exteriors here, so it's not the actual house. For those of you that aren't familiar with the world of television, interiors of stuff they're shot on a soundstage. So this was the exteriors. However, I've learned that the people that are selling the house have lived there since the 70s, and it is definitely even inside very 70s themed, like the Brady Bunch. And if you are interested, it is on the market for $1.85 million. Those of you not familiar with Studio City, it's a very nice area of Los Angeles. It's too hot for me because it's right there close to the valley, but it's a very nice area of Los Angeles. And for $1.85 million, you get 2,477 square feet of awesome 70s-ness. 70s-ness? I don't even know if that's a term. We're making a term, 70s-ness. And you will constantly have people driving by your house and taking pictures because everyone knows that it's the exterior for the Brady Bunch house. So look forward to that. Maybe you can do like people do with the Google Maps cars that drive around and make weird. That's what I would do. I would sit out there in a bathrobe and boxer shorts, like with my feet in a kiddie pool, drinking some weird large drink, and just wave at people as they drive by and take pictures. Hi, how you doing? That's what I would do. All right. I have some. I don't even know where to go with this one. I actually had this for last episode. Didn't talk about it. So I'm sure you've seen at any store, and this happens with anything that gets popular, but Stranger Things especially. If you go to Target, there's like Stranger Things stuff all over the place. Stranger Things branded stuff and whatever. So, keeping with that theme, there's a denim company, CIE Denim. CIE Denim. They wanted to get on that bandwagon of Stranger Things items, and they have created an upside-down denim short. That's right, an upside-down denim short. Are you excited about it, wall fans, common sensors? No, you're not, because it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a pair of denim shorts that are upside down. The pockets are on the bottom. Their pockets are completely useless. Why even have the pockets there if they're completely useless? Because they're turned upside down. I don't get it. And I'm sure, I didn't even look at the cost on these things. They probably cost at least $100 for some upside down freaking shorts. Now, we say on Go Tell It to the Wall, wear what you want, do what you want, as long as you're not hurting anyone. But good Lord. Good Lord. I don't know what to say anymore with these kinds of things. Of course, you're talking to the guy who, for his anniversary, received some limited edition Marvel Deadpool high top Vans. So I'm not one to talk. I'm just not one to talk. Hey, we're gonna get into some sports. I've actually got some sports today. That's right, some sports. This one's really important. I want to talk about this one. The executive director of the NFLPA, the NFL Players Association, actually was on the Dan Patrick Show recently. He brought with him some letters that the NFL Players Association has received from fans of various football teams. Many of these letters are very hateful, talking about how people will no longer watch the NFL because of the whole racial injustice protest and what was then turned into a flag protest by the Orange Menace. In fact, some people sent in like ripped up hats, ripped up shirts from the teams that they used to be a fan of. I bring this up because this isn't a surprise. I talked about this when this was originally happening, and everyone was making videos of themselves burning their jersey and burning their hats and throwing away their season tickets. But I bring this up because the executive director of the NFLPA brought up a great point. If these fans have the right to send this mail into the NFL Players Association, send these items into the NFL Players Association, shouldn't those same the players that they are upset with, have the right to make their voices heard in the same manner that these fans have? Tell me that, wall fans and common sensors. Tell me that. It's a two-way street. It's absolutely a two-way street. So think about that. I'm going to leave you there with that. And one other thing I do want to say is no matter where you fall on this, because I have made it known that I will not be watching the NFL this year. I simply won't. I have no interest in contributing to the ratings of that madness, and I'm just not going to do it. Will I watch the NFL one day again? Probably. Am I burning jerseys and shirts or throwing them? No. They're still in my closet. I still have my Patriots gear. Not getting rid of it. And I want to remind everyone that there was a time in this country, a time where your parents, or at the very least grandparents, were alive, where an African American could not play in any of the professional sports leagues. Any of them. Think about that. Now, we moved past that. We all did better as a society. And we know that was wrong. So chances are one day we're going to look back on this and we're going to know, from my side, hopefully we're going to know that everyone complaining about this and the Orange Menace were wrong. They were wrong. But we'll see where we get with it. On that same note, there is a player for the Tennessee Titans, a player named Jurrell Casey. Now, last year, he didn't actually kneel for the anthem. What he would do is at the end of the anthem would raise his fist in the air. Himself and a couple of other teammates would raise his fist in the air. He actually came out publicly and said he's going to continue to do that this year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because the rules are you have to stand for the anthem. When this first dropped, I said I want to see one of these players doing the crane pose from the Karate Kid. I don't know. He's going to get some backlash, but we'll see what happens as far as fines and suspensions and everything else. Before we move off of sports, I want to talk about a gentleman, Jordan Humphrey, who actually published. Jordan Humphrey is a player for the University of Texas Longhorns. He actually published an open letter to America. In fact, his nickname is Lil Jordan Humphrey, and this was what he called Lil Letter to America. I want to read this in its entirety, because I want to give this young man more of a platform than he had. And he has a platform. This is me yelling at a wall. But I think this is something, because I know a lot of our fans, common sensors, wall fans, are not big sports fans. I think this is something important that needs to be said. This was written in the form of a poem. So all this is, and I quote from this poem, Little Letter to America, in its entirety. America, America, the land of the free, where black people can die from just being black and free. They protest to be able to live life in peace like the majority. Thugs and animalistic people is all you see. In reality, all they really want in life is equality. Instead, America, which is the land of the free, elects a president with zero political history to restore the long legacy of white supremacy. Minorities were never a part of the American dream. They were only brought here to build your dream. I used to believe in this American dream that I would be playing in front of thousands on a college team. I have achieved that dream, and I believe that it was only a scheme. For you to continue to exploit black men, to continue to view them as animals, then have the nerve to say, "Make America great again." It was only great for white men. You, on the other hand, just want free labor again. So you continue to try to find new and creative ways to enslave black men. End quote. Now, I can't pretend to really relate to this. I'm a white man. I 100% believe in white privilege. I'm not saying I had an easy time. I come from a very, very, very low income family. Didn't have the easiest of times, but I really can't relate to Jordan Humphrey. But I think we all need to read this poem and understand where he's coming from. And sit back and look at what we're doing in this country. More specifically, what we're not doing in this country. So I encourage you, we're going to share this one on social platforms because it needs to get out there more. It's actually happened on July 10th. We're a little over a week since that actually happened, but it needed to be said on the podcast. It needed to be shared with all of you out there as well. And thank you for allowing me to do that because I find it extremely important. Extremely, extremely important. All right, let's move on to a little bit of tech. I want to kind of cruise through some of this tech because I've got some other common sense stuff that we're looking at and I want to get through as well. So we had some news. This one according to OZ.com. Apparently tech leaders have signed a pledge against artificial intelligence weapons. There's a bunch of top scientists and tech innovators have agreed to avoid bringing on the robot apocalypse. Now they've signed a pledge against developing and manufacturing autonomous weapons, basically against Skynet. And there is a total of 170 organizations and 2,400 individuals have signed this pledge. And that includes Elon Musk, that son of a bitch, and Google's DeepMind co-founders. If you're not familiar with Google's DeepMind, just Google them, look them up. It's fascinating stuff, and this is fascinating, and I'm glad that people are getting out in front of this. But really, a pledge is like, I mean, the Orange Menace pledged to serve and protect our country, and clearly he's not doing that. So a pledge really means nothing to me. I think we are getting closer and closer to Skynet, as terrifying as that actually is. But just man. Some more tech news. I encourage you right now, if you're listening to this, either pause it or just keep it on and actually go to Google. Just Google the word idiot. Yes, Google the word idiot, and you'll notice that the Orange Menace's picture comes up. Apparently some tech-minded people manipulated the search results for Google, not by hacking or anything, just manipulated the search results for Google so that when you Google the word idiot, the Orange Menace's picture comes up. Very interesting. A little more news, tech news. Bird, if you're not familiar with Bird, this is the company that actually raised like $400 million in funding. And they had the electric scooters that are all around town. I was in Palms, which is Culver City, this past Sunday, visiting my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, Dante of Give Me Motion, and Mary of the fantastic Mary Doodles, and saw these Bird scooters just all over the place. So they're really taking off. They're electric scooters. And as it stands now, you unlock it with an app. You can pick it up anywhere. You can leave it anywhere. It's a whole thing. I don't want to get into all the details on it. But it costs you $1 to start it up. And then it's 15 cents for every minute after that. It's by the minute. And then you can like pick one up, ride it home, put it on the sidewalk. It's going to get picked up by somebody else. Hey, Jen. But what they've introduced now, Bird, has actually introduced a low-income discount for the Bird scooters because they believe everyone should have access to transportation that is accessible, affordable, and environmentally friendly. That's according to Bird CEO Travis Vander Zanden. I know I don't want to reveal that one just yet because I'm still waiting to hear back from their media people. Jen, who's actually been helping us a lot with some sponsorships and actually getting content for the show. If you're on the live feed, she's breaking something. I'm just breaking a little bit of news that I didn't want to get everyone too excited about, but we could potentially be having a very big interview here on the show soon, hopefully sooner than later, just working through some details with that particular person's media team. Just wait. I'm waiting to hear back, Jen. But you're absolutely right, and that's courtesy of Jen, if and when that actually does happen. So Bird Scooters, like I said, but we will announce it, Jen, and I will make sure you are included with the announcement as well for helping to uncover that one. It's a really big interview if and when we do get it, especially if you are if you're a fan of the podcast, you're going to enjoy it. But if you're a little progressive politically like myself, then you're definitely going to enjoy it. That'll be coming down soon. And thank you to Jen for helping us out with that. Jen's been actually working on uncovering some other stuff for us as well, which has been an incredible help. I actually have to get her our full marketing breakdown and price list. That's what happened. Toddlers crawling on me, show prep. It's just too many things going on. So anyway, with the Bird Scooters, what they've done is they've taken away for lower income people, they've taken away the $1 like startup cost that you put on it to actually start the scooter, and it's only going to cost you 15 cents. 15 cents. Oh, okay, good call. That's on the down low. Communicating with one of our producers here. So it is a little more affordable for anyone out there that's a little more low income, and just it's accessible for everyone out there. So good on you, Bird Scooters and their CEO, and I appreciate what you're doing. And from what I hear, they're really useful, the scooters. I haven't gotten on one myself. A little more news from Facebook. Facebook and Instagram. They are cracking down on underage children. If you weren't aware of this, you actually have to be 13 or older than 13. I can't remember the exact cutoff. You need to be 13 years or older to technically to be on Instagram or Facebook. And Facebook and Instagram have come out and said that they are going to be cracking down on these and actually locking the accounts of anyone that they suspect or find to be below the age of 13. I think this is fantastic. If your kids are on social platforms like Facebook and Instagram, whatever else, even Snapchat, just get them off of there. Get them off of there. Let them be kids. Let them have fun. You know, they don't need to be on social platforms. That's just, they don't need to be there. You're only asking for trouble. You're only asking for trouble. Wait until they're like 14, then okay, you can have a little social that's fine. Have a social media account. An 8-year-old doesn't need a Facebook account. They don't. You don't need Facebook. You don't need Instagram. You don't need Snapchat. I don't care. You don't need any of that at 8 years old. You don't. Done. You don't need it. Oh, let's move on to some common sense. Common sense. Jen, you will definitely enjoy this story. This is actually a holdover from last week. And before I get into this story, I'm going to have a nice sip of my Oscar Blues Brewing Dale's Pale Ale. Jen, maybe we get a call into Oscar Blues. Ah, tasty. Well, police in Florida. Oh, I'm missing a thing. What the heck? I'm moving stuff around. Police in Florida, I'm going to get back to that, stopped a man for DUI. When they stopped this man who was clearly guilty of a DUI, I know not guilty or innocent until proven, whatever, clearly guilty of a DUI. The excuse he gave to the police officers, this was, of course, like I said, in Florida. He said, well, officer, I didn't drink and drive. I only drank at red lights and stop signs. This is where we live in, Wall fans, common sensors. Yeah, he was rationalizing that because he wasn't actually driving and drinking. Yes. Ooh, yes. Common sense says that you shouldn't be drinking if you're operating a motor vehicle. That actually reminded me of a personal story from my youth. I'm not even going to get into specifically who it was, but if you are a longtime fan of Go Tell It to the Wall podcast, you can probably figure it out. I remember a time when I was a young boy in Florida. Coincidentally, in Florida. So on a little road trip from the Miami area to upstate. Not even going to tell you where exactly upstate. The adult I was riding with at the time. And, man, I was maybe 5 years old. I don't even know if my sister was born yet, so I was maybe 5 years old. we stopped to pick up a couple of, sodas or whatever. We get in the car, and even at 5 years old, I had learned a thing: drinking and driving. Don't drink and drive. The adult who was driving me at the time got into the car, and I noticed that adult had a bottle of beer. And me, at 5 years old, I was smart enough, and I said, you shouldn't drink and drive. That adult was drinking while he was driving. And his excuse to me was, no, that means you shouldn't be drunk when you're driving. It's okay if you're drinking while you're driving. Hand to God, 100% true story. Wall fans, common sensors. Again, Florida. That's the world we live in. Not a lot of great things come out of Florida. With the exception of yours truly, your favorite podcast host on the face of the earth, because technically I was born in Miami. People tend to forget that. I came out of Florida. I'm just really essentially a SoCal boy because I moved here when I was 7. So I'm more of a SoCal, really more, even Chicago and SoCal boy than Florida. Oh, all right. This is super ridiculous. We have more common sense. Police in Virginia were called recently. They received a 911 phone call from an LA Fitness in Virginia. Apparently, there was a pickup basketball game happening on the basketball court at this particular LA Fitness. A guy was apparently fouled by another player in this pickup basketball game. The other player happened to be African American. The gentleman that was fouled happened to be white. He got really upset, stormed off the court, and said, "I'm going to call the police." And everyone else on the court kind of laughed, thinking he was joking. Well, sure enough, he went over to the desk of the LA Fitness, called 911, and made the police come to file a report that he had been fouled hard in this pickup basketball game. Fortunately, common sense prevailed. The police officers talked to both of the gentlemen, and while a report was filed, no charges were pressed against either individual. Yes, that's right, Wall fans, common sensors, America! We have reached a point where people are calling 911 because they were fouled in a fucking game. It's a game. Basketball. Sometimes it gets a little physical. And in fact, if a hard foul freaked you out because that happened in a pickup basketball game, I know for sure you never played basketball beyond like high school level and above. Because I did, friend. And if getting fouled hard and maybe falling to the ground offended you, you never would have made it in high school or above basketball. Because I can tell you, from personal experience, there's some shit that goes on in basketball. Especially when you play in what's called the post. That's when you're under the basket and you're trying to block people out. And you're trying to get a rebound. You're trying to get the ball. You're trying to put it in the hoop. Yeah, a lot of guys can get real grabby. Real grabby. You know? Think about it. Think about it. That's the stuff that happens. High school basketball and above. Really, maybe below that, too. I didn't play basketball till I was in high school. But I know from personal experience. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, that happens. All right, I'm going to try to get through these last couple things real quick. Apparently, the GOP voted to make it okay for organizations to refuse adoption to same-sex couples. And this would be based on religious objection. Here, we are further seeing that Republicans really don't give a shit about children in general. They would rather that children sit there in group homes as orphans than go to a loving family simply because it is a same-sex couple. Yet we think it's okay. We think it's okay that Kim Kardashian can have all the frickin' children she wants. Come on. Give me a break. Give me a break. I know so many same-sex couples that are more than capable of raising a child and would create an incredibly loving home. Now, should there be a background check and all that other stuff, you know? Yeah, I'm not saying all same-sex couples are fantastic and they're, should have, no. But it goes the same for heterosexual couples as well. Same thing. Please do better. Please do better. I'm so sick of it. Oh, Henry Cavill found himself in the news recently. He came out and spoke about the Me Too movement, and apparently he is afraid to date after the Me Too movement for fear that he will get called out on the Me Too movement. Well, Henry Cavill, let me tell you one thing. Let me break this down for you. It's simple as this. Don't treat women like shit, and you won't get brought into the Me Too movement. If you are a gentleman and a regular human being, then you'll be okay. You'll be okay. I can say it right now, because other men in public positions have said this too. I'm so afraid of the Me Too movement. I can say it right now. Wall fans, common sensors, social media world, podcast consumers, I ain't afraid of it. I think it's fantastic. I ain't afraid of it because I'm not worried about being pulled into that because I'm not an asshole. I treat women with respect. I treat men with respect. Yeah. Do better, Henry Cavill. Do better. Oh, we had another story out of Virginia. Apparently, a restaurant there called Beer 88. They had a group of teenagers. Hey, Easy, how's it going? I didn't even see you on there. My good buddy Easy. Actually, I play Clash of Clans with Easy. My good buddy Easy just jumped onto the live feed here, and that's funny. So Jen, so the person commenting right above you. I don't want to give his real name just because on the podcast because he goes by a different name on COC. He actually lives in El Paso. Jen. Have fun. Jen's from Texas, and she was hinting at a possible interview that we will have coming up soon. And it's just funny because Easy happens to live in El Paso, and all the Wall fans comments are like, oh, I know who it is now. Oh, I know who it is. Anyway. So this Beer 88 restaurant in Virginia, they had a small group of teenagers in there, and one of them, a 17-year-old, actually wanted to pay for the entire bill for he and his friends. He wanted to pay $45. That was inclusive of $10 tip. Only had a $20 bill and had $25 in quarters. So he paid with a $20 bill and $25 in quarters. Yeah. Well, what happened? You think, okay, that's fine. No, money is money. What happened was this Beer 88 restaurant actually got on social media and called the 17-year-old out on this. Called him out on it. And really, here's the thing. They have no why does El Paso not have HEB? Even I know HEB, and I've never lived in Texas. Called him out on this, and I don't even want to say it's infuriating because it's not infuriating. It's just irritating. The kid's 17. Money is money. And you don't need to call him out on social media. Especially when he left a very nice tip. Apparently it was a $10 tip on top of everything else. Very nice tip. Money is money. Plus, I've worked retail myself. If you take cash at a restaurant or retail, you're running out of quarters all the freaking time. All the time. Plus, I also guarantee there's some people that work there that don't have laundry in their own house. And they would have had to be going to the bank to get quarters anyway. Calm the hell down, Beer 88. Do a little better. And good on you, 17-year-old, because, like, paying for your friends, I don't care how you're paying. That's fine. Paying pennies, for God's sake. It's money. Money is money. We have pennies because it's money. That's why they're there. It's money. A little more news. One last piece of common sense news. A California court actually blocked the three-way split measure that was going to be on the ballot in November. It's completely blocked. They are not going to be breaking California up into 3 different states. And I talked about this previously on the podcast. I don't have enough knowledge into the advantages and disadvantages. It seems like it's really all disadvantage for everybody. Like, it doesn't seem like an advantage for anybody. Anyway. So that's not going to happen. It's not going to be on the ballot in November. Get over it. Whatever that rich dude up in Silicon Valley. Not happening, bud. We'll see. It'll probably come up again. This has happened like every couple of years. They're like, break up California. 3 different states. 5 different states. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. Anyway. All right, that's going to do it for us this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share on Podomatic, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, every other podcast platform you can think of. Subscribe to us, share it with your friends, leave a review, tell us how terrible it is, send me some hate mail. I'm sure we're getting hate mail off of this one. Maybe not. There wasn't enough polarizing things for hate mail. We'll work on that for next episode. I'll work on getting some more hate mail for next episode. I do like that Jen Beer hate, because they hate quarters, anti-quarters. So make sure you subscribe, do all the things, tell your friends. Give us a nice review, give us a terrible, I don't even care what it is, just let us know, do those things. Make sure you also subscribe on YouTube, search Go Tell It to the Wall on YouTube, subscribe, watch our videos, follow us on Twitter, @TellTheWallPod, @MagicMuppet. Most importantly, head on over to SeanO'RourkeLive.com. That's right, SeanO'RourkeLive.com. We'll show you all of those things, including our Patreon page. Become a patron, help out the show financially, and right now, most importantly, check out our Indiegogo campaign. We are so close. If we can just get $50 more, 50, like we need a little more than 50, but if we hit 50, that is going to ensure that we hit our goal, because we've got another donor sitting they're waiting until we hit a certain point, and then they're going to make sure we hit our goal, but we do have to hit that point. We do have to hit that point. So please share. Every dollar helps. Tell your friends, tell your family, whatever it is, tell your dog, tell your cat, whoever it is. Get that Indiegogo. We got 3 days left on it. That's it. I'm so tired. I'm going to go finish my Oscar Blues Brewery Dale's Pale Ale. Oh, and a happy Thursday to all of you, or Friday or Saturday or Sunday, depending on when you're watching, listening, doing all those things. Thank you to Jen for jumping on today. Bridget, unfortunately, Phoebe was sick, but we did have Chris on here. Chris, make sure you go back and check out that anniversary shout-out that I gave you at the top of the show. Anniversary twins. That's going to do it for episode 64 of Go Tell It to the Wall podcast. I'm your favorite podcast host, the one and only Sean O'Rourke. And remember, Wall fans, common sensors, social media world, podcast consumers, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, no matter what you're doing, and especially no matter why you are doing it, always use common sense. Chris, yeah, make sure you go back, because we had a whole anniversary shout out. I really thought you were at Comic-Con, but I think like Thursdays I'm just scrolling through stuff, and I think you were making jokes about Comic-Con while not actually being there. I do need a song. Jen, if you can get us a song. Oddly enough, I've had offers. I've had a couple offers, but I got to figure out what we're going to do. I don't know. Maybe something like the Marc Maron style. Not because I'm trying to be Marc Maron. Oh my God. I like that one. Please remember that. I need to go back to that. Don't be a dork. Listen to O'Rourke. Yeah, I'm so down with that one. Anyway, thanks for jumping on, Jen. I'm talking business on the live feed, but I'm going to shoot the marketing stuff over to you by tomorrow morning, and I'll let you know what happens with that other thing we mentioned. Yeah, no, I know. Phoebe was sick. Phoebe, for those of you that subscribe on the YouTube channel or watch the YouTube videos, Phoebe was actually on our Star Spangled episode. We had her on there while Chris was playing around with us on the live feed and talking some good old common sense. So thanks to all of you for joining in. Thanks for watching this later if you didn't actually join in while live. And we'll be back next week. Same wall place, same wall time, possibly with some newer gear. We'll see how that goes. Working on it, literally working on it starting tomorrow up through next week. So thank you to all of you. And remember, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're with, no matter why you're doing it, no matter where you are, always use common sense. And never, ever forget the patented Bridget Freeze.